Welcome to Peoria's Pulse, a program of news and information about the services, programs, and events going on this month in the city of Peoria. I'm Bo Larson, Public Information Manager for the city. It's the holiday season, which means it's time to break out all the decorations, hang the lights, and think of fun things to do with family and friends. So on this episode of Pulse, we're going to talk with a few people who will help us be safe with our lighting extravaganzas, learn about some fun and exciting things you can do at the library, and no holiday is complete without lots of trash. So we're going to speak with a gentleman from Public Works Utilities about trash collection and recycling. Before we learn more about these programs, let's take a look back at some recent events and activities that happened this month in Peoria. The Peoria PACE Conference was held at the Arizona Broadway Theater on November 17th. This conference on civic engagement brought out the who's who in the state on subject matter from education, business engagement, and community action. The morning keynote speaker was Dr. Michael Crow, president of Arizona State University.
I would argue that economic competitiveness, if it was our common objective, if everything that we did was measured from that, we could, from that, create the environment in which social, economic, and cultural change could be driven at a faster rate and at a more positive rate. And from that, we would have a higher probability of continuing to build on the foundation of an already existing successful community, a more successful community.
In the afternoon, the 250 attendees were treated to the keynote address of former Phoenix Sun, now Mayor of Sacramento, California, Kevin Johnson.
Why do I run for mayor in Sacramento? I run for mayor because my darn grandfather told me that you can't complain if you don't like something that's going on. You can't stand on the sidelines. You got to throw your hat in the ring. You got to get involved. And he said at a young age, the greatest thing you can do is be a public servant, which means, today, an elected official. So I run for mayor in Sacramento because it's my hometown. And the very first initiative that I did was a volunteer service initiative. I got elected, I gave an inauguration speech, and I told our community that we are going to be a city known for service and volunteerism.
It doesn't seem there is a month which goes by where we aren't talking about a new business coming to town or a park opening in the city. In Vistancia, Westland Park was dedicated on Saturday, November 18th. The Lake Pleasant Elementary School Band performed for the attendees. And of course, there was a ribbon cutting.
1, 2, 3.
It has been really a big success. And I also want to thank the citizens who got so involved in the making of this park. You came to all the community meetings, you sat down, and you made sure that your voice was heard when it came to what amenities you wanted, how you wanted things situated, so that it was custom suited, for your family.
November also had the city's annual Veterans Day 5K run and pancake breakfast at the Rio Vista Community Recreation Center. The weather kept the number of attendees lower than past years, but for those who did attend, they were presented with a great meal and displays of our nation's military strength.
Peoria gave vets a proud salute at the 4th annual Veterans Day celebration.
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Get set, go!
Rio Vista hosted the event, which included a 5K competitive run and non-competitive 1-mile family fitness walk along the New River Trail, passing Peoria's Veterans Wall along the way. Peoria's Finest thanked those who came out with a free pancake breakfast. Residents were happy to show their patriotism on the brisk and breezy morning.
I had served a few years in the Army, and this was for Veterans Day, and we wanted to come out and support the veterans and show that we were here for veterans, so we wore the Army shirts.
I think it's awesome to support the Army and everything.
I think we need to show that we still support the veterans, even though the excitement of the beginning of the Gulf War and everything is worn away. We need to remember people are still serving our country for our freedoms.
It was the flag presentation by Westview High School's drill team that gave this morning meaning. A special day to pay respect and show thanks to our country's heroes. It's also a reminder that there are many still sacrificing their lives for our freedom.
There is always something going on in Peoria. When I come back, we will talk about some exciting things going on at the library. Seriously, we'll be right back. We're back now with Kathy Jackson. She's a librarian with the Peoria Public Libraries. And welcome.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Now the holidays, people don't think of necessarily as the library as the place to go over the holidays, but you have quite a few activities and events going on, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have a couple of events that are being sponsored by our Friends of the Library on the 27th, 28th, and 29th of December. They'll be sponsoring a crafty fun time for kids 5 and under, and also a game time for kids 6 to 12. The main library is having some craft activities as well. We don't have our regular story times that week, so this is in lieu of that.
So that's a lot of fun, you know, going into the library
Yeah.
and doing those types of activities, but there's a lot of things people can do from home if they have a library card, I've been told.
Oh, yes. We have a couple of new e-sources that people may not know about. The first one we have is called Freegal, and it's a music download service that if you have a Peoria Public Library card, you can get 3 free downloads a week per library card.
So this is like the perfect stocking stuffer for kids, isn't it?
Yeah, give them a library card and they can get free
all the music they want.
Yeah. We also have another database which is ebook, and Kindle is new on that. So if you, in the past you tried to use it and you had a Kindle, it wasn't compatible, but now you can use most of the ebook readers, and you can do that from home with your library card.
Now, does this work at other libraries as well, or?
The ebooks are part of the Greater Phoenix Digital Library, which is a consortium between most of the libraries in Maricopa County. So basically from home you just sign in, you check out your books virtually, so to speak, and then you just download them onto your e-reader, Kindle, Nook, whatever you have.
Oh, what a great program.
Yeah,
now,
it's great.
Now, isn't there something as well about, it's called the Cultural Pass, right?
Oh yeah, if you're bored during the holidays and you want something to do when the kids are off, you can come into the library, again, the magic library card, and you can check out what's called a Cultural Pass, and it allows you 2 free admissions to, I think there's probably 10 or 15 different venues in the Valley. The Phoenix Children's Museum, Phoenix Art Museum are among them, and that is on our website as well.
Are you allowed to use them like day after day after day, or?
Well, what you do is you check out the pass. It's good for 1 week,
Okay.
and it admits 2, and you can do it 2 times a month per library card.
Now,
Family.
what are some of the upcoming events, you know, not just over Christmas and December, but you have some big events that...
Well, we do an annual program for the kids, which is the Nutcracker, and that will be December 3rd at Main Library and December 10th at Sunrise. And check the calendar for the dates and the times.
Yeah. And so the library, you and I were talking before we started this interview about it's not just where people go in and sit at a table and read a book in quiet anymore. It's a great place to interact, isn't it?
Yeah, we have a lot of... it's kind of like a community center. People like to come in, young moms with their kids. Their kids can play in the play area while they chit-chat or whatever. So yeah, it's still a really busy place.
Now, what's the character you play? You read for kids, don't you?
I'm actually a children's librarian at Sunrise, and my stage name is Madam Patchouli, and I do story times for kids on Thursdays at 9:15 and 10:15. And that's for school, you know, preschoolers basically. So yeah, I have a following.
A cult following.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, how can people learn more about our library?
Well, the best place is the website. We have all the activities with times and dates, and we usually do a calendar of events that you can get in-house as well. So it'll have all the activities, including activities for adults. We have a book club. We have free computer classes, so if you don't know how to use your Kindle, we have a Kindle class. We teach basic internet, basic computer classes, so we have lots of programs for all ages. We have teen programs as well. I think we're having an event over the Christmas break for teens as well.
And the library is not immune to social media, I understand.
No. We're on Facebook.
Yeah.
And so you can find us and friend us on Facebook too. Keep up with that. That's updated daily, and if anything comes up, you can see what's happening.
Yeah, so there's a lot of great ways to learn more about the Peoria Public Libraries, and actually all the programs throughout the county libraries as well. And checking out the website you go to peoriaaz.gov to
it's
start?
well, yeah, you can do it that way. Library.peoriaz.gov will get you directly into the library website. There's a calendar of events on there. You can look up books from home. You can get onto the Free Gold database and the ebook database as well.
But when you sign up as well on the Facebook page, you're up to date every day on different events and programs. And I think the last count I saw, you had about 500 people, 500 friends on Facebook.
Yeah, we need more.
We need more, yeah,
We're
no
lonely,
doubt.
yeah.
But it's a great way just to connect with other people, share ideas, and learn about upcoming events. And it doesn't matter if you have kids or if you're a senior that wants to get out of the home. There's people that will hang out there all day enjoying the different periodicals and newspapers and all the different documents they have there at the library. So thank you very much for
Thanks
coming.
For having
we
us.
appreciate it, and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back. I'm here now with Tim Iden, public educator for the Peoria Fire Department. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, it's all about holiday safety right now. And so as a fire educator for the citizens of Peoria, you see often the number of times lights are improperly installed and trees are improperly lit. Give us some tips on, like, let's start off with lighting a house.
Sure. You know, our two big issues with decorating this time of year are fires and falls. And especially this time of year, falls are a big concern because people decorate beyond their means. They put, you know, a ladder on top of a roof to reach the higher reaches. People that shouldn't be up on ladders that, you know, may have vertigo issues or may have issues getting up to high places, often try to put, you know, trinkets and decorations up in high areas, and they end up falling from a ladder. Sure. So the first thing you can do to avoid falls is simply decorate within your means. You know, don't do anything beyond what you're capable of. If it doesn't feel safe, don't do it. If you're going to put lights up in a high place, have a safe ladder and have someone support it for you so that you don't fall. You know, every year we get people that fall off of ladders decorating their house, and then the holidays are spent in a hospital room.
Right.
We would much rather have people celebrate the holidays at home.
So what are some of the tricks that people can do?
We actually brought with today, this is what I use to decorate from my house. This is an extension pole, and it keeps me from going up on a ladder, and what it does is it extends. There's a little clip on the end, and this clips onto the roof of your house. So what you do is you string your lights right through here, you clip this onto the roof of your house, and you never have to get up on a ladder.
Great idea, and it avoids people using staple guns and things like that.
Another big problem is people piercing those wires and not knowing it, using tacks and nails and staples and things like that, and that's a big hazard every year.
Should you, when you hang your lights, should they already be plugged in first so you can see how the lights look, or is it better not to have them plugged in?
That's a good question. You know, if you're going to hang your lights, the first thing to do is to test them to make sure they're working. So pre-plug everything in. A big fire hazard issue this time of year is people will hang the lights and then plug them in and realize they're not working. So then you have to go through each individual bulb. So plug them in first and inspect them. And that's a big step that everybody skips. If you plug it in and it works, you go for it. But go through each strand and look for frays. Okay. Because what do we do at the end of the year? We pull them down, we shove them in a bin, and we wait till the next year. pull them out and actually look through each one, make sure they're not missing bulbs, you don't have loose bulbs. If the lights are flickering on and off, that's an indicator that there's a short somewhere.
And what's a good rule of thumb when, when attaching the different strings of lights? Because I know in my house, I'm like, well, 2 worked, I'll try 3. Can you get away with it?
Read the back of the box when you buy the lights. Read the back of the box. It'll tell you how many lights you can string together. Some of the cheaper brands that you buy may only allow 2. So you can string 2 strands of light together. If you buy a 25-foot strand or a 50-foot strand, that's only 100 feet. So that's not a lot of coverage. And then you need to find another plug-in. But some brands will allow you to plug in more. But if you're like many people who start on this side of the house and strand together till they get to this side of the house, that can be an electrical hazard.
How do you, now, if a string isn't working, I know they have little fuses in some of the strings and stuff, is it worth it trying to fix those lights?
Throw it away. Throw it away. If you have an extra bulb that matches the set, and you can pull the other one out and plug it in, and everything's going okay, there's no flickering, you can give it a try. But from our perspective, we would rather have you just throw that set of lights out and go with it.
When in doubt, throw it out.
When in doubt, throw it out. If there's flickering, sometimes you plug it in, they're on, sometimes you plug it in, they're not, you're going to end up going back up on the roof, pulling down those lights anyway. Throw them out in the beginning. It's time to buy some new lights.
All right, here's something that always confuses me. I plug in my extension cord that has perhaps the 3-prong outlet.
Right.
How many light can I use all lights off of that one extension cord into the outlet of the house, or what's the rule of thumb on that?
It's a little difficult to say, but here's a rule of thumb. If you plug in one set of lights and you need sunglasses to look at your house, right? You've got too much going on. If you've got one of those houses that you just overdo the lights and the decorations and the blow-ups and things like that, you might want to consider actually having a separate breaker put on just for Christmas lights. We have someone that works for the fire department that does one of the community displays, that everybody likes to go visit, and his house is just, you can see it from a mile away. And that's what he did. He actually had an extra breaker put into the box just dedicated to Christmas lights because he was drawing so much energy. For the rest of us, try to spread the electrical sockets out. Don't put too many into one. And a great rule is if anything dims in your house, so if you flip a switch and your lights dim, your TV dims, when you turn the vacuum cleaner on, if all the power drains from the house, that's a good sign that you've overloaded an electrical socket. In my house, I thought I did a great job last year. I decorated the entire front of the house. I was very careful spreading my sockets. I went in the backyard and I turned on our electric heater, and everything in the house went dim, and I actually blew a fuse in that case. So bear in mind that there are more than one socket that are connected in the same fuse.
So don't use the movie A Christmas Story with Peter Billingsley as an example of, proper lighting.
Exactly. Try to spread those lights out into different plugs as much as possible.
Now, moving from lights to Christmas trees. It's that time of year where people use live trees, or the freshly cut trees, and then they try to light up their tree, and then invariably there's going to be a fire. What are some great precautions on that?
So when you buy a tree, that's when it starts. When you buy the tree, if you're going to buy an artificial one, make sure it's fire retardant. Most of them are nowadays. When you buy a live tree, make sure that it's fresh. And most people don't really know how to test if it's fresh. If it's losing needles, if it's already dropping needles before you buy it, it's drying out. Pull one of those needles off and bend it between your fingers. If it bends, it's okay. If it snaps, it's dry and it's brittle. And that's the real important one. Keep it watered throughout, and then when Christmas is over, especially with real trees, not artificial trees, get the tree out of the house. Don't leave it sitting around for a while, because then we forget about it and it dries out.
Now, fires start obviously from shorts in the lights and stuff like that. Same rules of thumb that go to decorating a tree as it is for the house then?
Yeah, the tree decorations, the biggest thing is frays in the wire that causes that, and also the stuff we put around it. Once upon a time they actually put candles in the trees. We don't do that anymore, but think of all the holiday candles that are around. Make sure anything flammable is at least 3 feet away from the Christmas tree. Space heaters, candles, fireplaces. And if you have a fireplace in the room, make sure there's a screen in front of it. That's generally what causes those Christmas tree fires. If you're careful with the lights you put on, and if you keep things that are flammable away, that Christmas tree will be okay.
There's so much to talk about on Christmas safety and holiday lighting. So, Tim, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you,
and we'll get you on a future show for other seasons that come up.
Great, thank you.
We'll be right back. We're here now with Mahir Hazin, Deputy Director of Public Works Utilities for the City of Peoria. And welcome.
Welcome. How you doing, Bo?
I'm doing well, thank you. The holiday season, Public Works and Utilities never seems to rest. There's always trash collection, there's Christmas tree pickups, there's waterworks. Explain a little bit about what's going on in December.
Well, basically, you know, December is just any other month with additional items that we have got to cover. Clearly, our plant operators are operating the plant to make sure that they, you know, deliver safe water to our residents. Our wastewater collection folks are collecting the sewage from the homes and treating it accordingly. Our solid waste folks are out there collecting trash as normal. And our streets, our transit, our facilities, our fleet, all of the folks that support everybody else in the city is always working and operating.
But because of the holidays, from Thanksgiving through Christmas and all the other holidays that are celebrated in December, there seems to be so much more trash out there on the streets, you know, from Christmas trees to gift wrappings. So how's the schedule work?
Well, for Christmas tree, we do have some specific locations. We generally partner up with facilities that tend to sell these types of facilities, like the Home Depots and Lowe's and Walmarts. So we partnered up with some of those, and the list is available on our website that has the locations of the Home Depots, Lowe's, and Walmarts together. We also have at the Peoria Sports Complex and at the main library some locations where individuals can drop off their Christmas trees. They don't have to worry about it.
So the piles will happen. People bring their trees to either the library or sports complex after the season, and then the city will dispose of them and take them to either landfill or to recycling plants. How does that work?
We usually try to get them recycled because they're good for recycling. So wherever we can throughout the city, any opportunity we get to recycle the material and avoid it from going to the landfill, we try to do that. So Christmas tree is just one of those alternatives that we take to recycle and turns into a mulch that somebody can use versus dumping it in the landfill.
Okay. So the trash, though, from, you know, Christmas and also that party season of the year, what happens to that with the schedule? Because the holidays are falling on certain days of the week, which I'm sure messes up a little bit of the normal schedule you have for pickup. How is that working for the city?
Our solid waste facility folks generally work 4 days a week. They work Monday and Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. Wednesday is left as sort of a day to allow for scheduled shiftings and things to happen. This is for the residential side. So any holidays that normally fall on a Monday or Tuesday, we slip it forward a day. So for example, this year, our Christmas, even though it falls on a Sunday, it's observed at the city on Mondays. So Monday is a holiday and there is no trash service. For those that have trash service on Monday, their trash is picked up on Tuesday. Those that have trash service on Tuesday, their service will be picked up on Wednesday. Okay. For the folks that have trash service and or recycling on Thursday or Friday, those are picked up at like a normal schedule.
And how do people find out about the shift in schedules?
We try to do this in many ways. Clearly, going to our website is the first place. Usually in January, we send people a card that has a list of all the holidays. So that January 2011, folks should have received a card. And this December, they'll be receiving a card for 2012. We also put advertising in the Arizona Republic and the Peoria Times. We also put it up on our website. We send out email for those that we have an email list to. We place it on Facebook, on Twitter, if people are opt-in. So that's an opportunity for everybody, depending on what media they get to find out the information. And as always, they can go ahead and call solid waste.
So it is, you know, even though we do a great job of getting the word out, and this is a program and plan that has been working for years, there's still a few times people, you know, kind of get lost in what the day is and what the schedules will be. But it really is up to the citizens to be engaged and reach out and try to find out what the schedule is all about.
It is. It's a partnership between both the citizens and us. So we've tried to think of every possible media that the residents can utilize. Clearly, if a resident out there has some recommendations, we're always willing to listen to them and call our main office, and we'll be more than glad to go ahead and get that information from them. But, you know, we do have hiccups that happen. We do have people that just, you know, forgot about it or didn't read it, or maybe we just simply didn't do as good of a job in getting the word out, and we're always learning from our mistakes. So We try to remedy those. Sometimes, depending on the quantity, we may have to go back the next day. Sometimes, if it's a larger quantity, unfortunately, they may have to wait till the next week, and we may allow some additional pickups for them to accommodate for that schedule.
So it's always good to know that the garbage will be picked up. Don't think that you're forgotten about. And
the garbage will always be picked up,
Yeah.
and again, if it's not, feel free to give us a call, and we'll make sure to accommodate everybody.
Now, Mahir, Public Works and Utilities does so much more than just garbage pickup and handle sewage and things like that. What else in December will be changing for citizens that they need to be aware of, like dial-a-ride and things like that?
Well, the dial-a-ride service is still there. We're mandated by the federal government as far as the schedule. Generally speaking, we operate 5 days a week with the exception of observed holidays. So for individuals during the Christmas holiday, Monday is the only day that we are off. Okay. Now, individuals that are certified with disabilities and taking a trip that's approved as a dollar ride, we do provide additional service for them on Saturdays and holidays. They do have to schedule those in advance, but we do utilize a staff and supplemental service through a cab company that it's coordinated through the city to go ahead and deliver service for those individuals.
So it seems like we have the holidays covered through Public Works and Utilities.
Yeah, we always have to be on. Again, it's just part of the nature of the business.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today on Pulse. It's a good lesson that Mahir was discussing is that when in doubt, check it out. Go to the web services or website and check out the schedule for the services provided by the city. And all the information is there, and if you have any questions, just call our Public Works and Utilities, and they'll have the answers for you. So thank you very much, Mahir, and we look forward to having you on again.
Thank you.
Here now is a look at some of the activities, classes, and meetings coming up in the month of December. Well, that's our show for this month. I hope you liked it and found it informative. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question about what you saw here today on Pulse, or you have an idea, send us a note at news@peoriaaz.gov. So from all of us here at Peoria TV, Channel 11, I am Bo Larson. Thanks for watching.